How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today I'm going to go and do the last contract in the list of contracts you need to do to unlock the garage in Harvest Corp. This one's called Fixing the Fixers, and yeah, as I said before, it's a little bit of an anticlimactic contract in a way, because it's pretty simple. Like, I'm at the garage now where I did the last mission called Down to the Last Screw, and then to do this one you need 2 lots of metal beams and 4 service spare parts, but as you can see there's like a warehouse just down the road which you had to deliver some stuff to previously. I did it in the ANK 38, and that just so happens to have the metal beams and the service spare parts, and to be fair there's not really a direct road going to it, so I'm going to kind of cut across the countryside to connect with the main road instead of doing a big fat loop, like sort of go north of the garage and loop round. And then, yeah, grab the stuff from here. I'm also going to borrow the ANK MK38 and then cut across the field to the road that's kind of on the right of the map, which again doesn't really connect anywhere. It just kind of, it heads out from the garage, but it just sort of trails off into just a little bunch of buildings, I think. So it might possibly be a future mission or contract. I'm going to have to do something there. Yeah, it's a goddamn horse of a vehicle. Borrowed a bit of fuel from him. And as it was like this sort of garage I'm going to do it from and all the rest of it, and I'd already delivered other stuff here, I was considering I could start with a different truck and just go back to the Heartlands or the Crossroads garage. But to be fair, because I like to start from a garage, I kind of, near enough every video starts from them. And yeah, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'd just kind of be prolonging the video for the sakes of it, really. I'm only going to set off from one of those garages and then drive all the way back here anyway. I'm cutting across here, you can see some good little grooves in the map, and then when I got here I was like, there's a bit of a cliff face going on. I was going to reverse up and go around to the right, but then I suddenly realised I'm far too impatient to be trying that. I was like, sod it, floor it, fingers crossed, it's always worth a go. I was just curious to see if it had bumped the front end up, and it did. It kind of went better than I thought, and it was still gripping. It didn't even beach either. Just about managed to claw its back end up there, so yeah, it worked out pretty nicely, to be fair. That's one of those things where I imagine trying that back in the day before they'd given us all-wheel drive on this truck probably wouldn't have gone so well. But it's a little bit bumpy and sketchy cutting across this bit. But again, even though it would have been like an easier route or whatever, just following the road round, it just feels unnecessary. I mean, part of the game is kind of off-roading, and I do enjoy a bit of freestyling across the map, so yeah, just kind of little cheeky shortcut there, connect back to the road. And like I said, it's only down the road like this now to this warehouse. I don't know, but I've kind of got a feeling that maybe they were originally intending for us to scavenge the materials from like around in the centre of the map. We had to collect a cargo container from there for a mission. There's like a load of farmland that sort of looks like it's been flooded out and it's a bit swampy. Yeah, or if not, like other places. It just seems like for one reason or another they got to like near the end and then just decided to sod it, just the materials that you need, just spawn them at this warehouse. No, it's not the end of the world. I suppose if you actually want to get the garage unlocked sooner rather than later, it speeds up the process a little bit. I was just umming and ahhing whether to put the service spare parts on this twin stair or the metal beams, basically because I know I'm going to borrow the ANK and I've got the ramped flatbed. So I was just trying to work out in my head which vehicle do I trust less for tipping, the twin stair or that ramped flatbed. And to be fair, even though for some reason I did settle on putting the service spare parts on this in the end, strictly speaking, I don't know, the ramped flatbed has drove me mad for years, and then, as I've mentioned myself a couple of times, it's been suspiciously kind to me for the last couple of weeks, and I've managed to do various missions without it biting me. And yeah, I don't know, it feels like I'm waiting for the bill to be cashed. It's one of those things that doesn't feel free. It appears to be so, but I don't know. It reminds me, it's random as fuck, but when I was at, I don't know, I must have been about 15 or something at school, and I was like not really smoking properly, but every now and then I'd go out for a smoke. And I went out the front, like over the opposite the school was it's called a Hallgarth Park or something. So we'd go in there under these trees, have a smoke, and this girl who had recently join the school. So she was in like sort of in our classes, so kind of in our friend group. But yeah, I didn't know her too well because she'd only got there not too long. And we both went out smoking a fag, as they say over here, smoking a cigarette. And yeah, she randomly, for no reason at all, flashed her tits at me. And I still remember clearly, as soon as she did, as soon as they went away, obviously, 'cause I was looking there at the time, I gave her a look like, okay, what do I owe? What is it? What do you want? What part of my soul am I going to have to try and sell? Yeah, and then it was, no, she was just like, meh, thought you'd want to see a pair of tits. It's like, well, cool. And yeah, still makes me laugh to this day. I swear, one day I'm just going to get a letter saying, yeah, remember that time I showed you my tits 28.7 years ago? You, can you lend me £1,000,000? So yeah, it's one of them. I'll never trust it, and I still don't trust this ramp flatbed. But for whatever reason, as I mentioned before, whether on purpose or by accident, it's just not being a dick like it used to be. It used to roll so easily and just flick your cargo off. But yeah, anyway. That aside, got the materials. Yeah, went for the service spare parts on the twin steer, got the ANK, goddamn professional that was chilling with the ANK, fueled him up a bit. Got the metal beams on the ramp flatbed. I mean, I've not got a crane on either vehicle, so that's when I was umming and ahhing a bit. I was like, well, do I really want... I don't know, which one's going to be the most risky, but I'm driving a little bit cautiously, because, yeah, if I do tip, I mean, the magic of editing kind of solves a lot of those issues anyway, but you're just out of kind of stubbornness. Once I've set off with a group of vehicles and I'm doing the mission, that's part of the reason I bring a goddamn horse of a vehicle with me every time, because, like I say, it's just another extra life and a chance to escape out of a situation you've got yourself into. So yeah, kind of feels a bit like throwing the towel in, and I'll do it if I have to. I had to the other day. In fact, funnily enough, it must have been that down to every last screw contract or whatever, because it was with this twin steer where I needed to go and bring a Dolphin from one of the other garages to load the vehicle spare parts onto the twin steer, even though the Glove, again, goddamn professional, he managed to get one piece of cargo up there, but I was running out of time and just messing around, so it didn't actually take me very long to get the first piece of cargo, but you are rolling the dice with doing it that way. So yeah, I had to go and get a vehicle, but if I can help it, I don't want to, so a bit of tiptoeing around so it doesn't bite me. And long story short, even though like I am trying to be a little bit careful, I was planning on going faster than I was back there. The twin steer, it was just, I think along with towing as well, there's like a bit of a restriction with how fast you can go when you're towing, and I think between that and the gear caps on the game, the gearbox just wasn't really liking it in the twin steer. Even I was in, I think it was only letting me in first, but it just kind of felt like this slippy clutch thing going on. It was not quite getting into its sort of power band where it was putting its toe down a little bit. So I decided, yeah, to disconnect it, bring the ANK round and make that the lead vehicle for a little bit. And again, I'm liking this vehicle, the ANK. I always did. I liked it a lot when we first got it, because it was one of the first vehicles where it actually had plenty of engine power and all the rest of it. But yeah, back then it was such a nightmare for tipping over. Funnily enough, actually, I'm having to edit various videos I've been doing recently. They that must be another one, the kind of musical bit in the ANK video. It must be classical music, so it's not copyrighted. Yeah, where I'm tipping over 100 times with the ANK, trying to get a quick run on flooded foothills, trying to deliver the cargo container thing. That was where I was originally doing the tyre test, so yeah, I did 300 odd attempts at that run. Probably more than that, but obviously X amount didn't make it. This being the biggest one, really. Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, for not being able to make it. It's one of them, actually. I suppose I should revisit it at some point, because, yeah, since they have fixed the tipping on this, and just overall, it's like a nice vehicle now. They've also added these custom muds on, which, again, I'm not overly thrilled by the grip levels of them. They're not terrible, though. They're just not... I expected them to be kind of the benchmark for muds, but yeah, they feel a little bit average. But other than that, I like that they sit wide, and yeah, overall, this I'm liking this vehicle. Seen the twin steer got a little bit tippy there. I think at this point, yeah, I disconnected the winch. These rocks are getting a little bit iffy, and like I say, that twin steer, it doesn't take a lot it's one of these vehicles where once it starts to go, it really doesn't fight it. That's what still makes me think there's like a slab of weight high up in the roof of it, because once it kind of gets over that centre of gravity point, it really doesn't try and resist it at all. So yeah, just split the road train up quickly. That was one nice thing about doing this mission though. It did end up yeah, just doing a little road train. I was originally going to go with the twin stair, kind of cut the way I did to the factory, deliver the first lot of cargo kind of this way I'm driving now, and then I was going to go back down this road back to the warehouse, and then attempt to cut back to the garage the way I originally set off, kind of when I had to bump up that cliff and all sorts. But yeah, through a combination of like, I just kind of enjoyed the idea of doing a road train again, and the fact that the ANK was there with a ramped flatbed, it just all seemed to fit together pretty nicely. I knew I'd be able to get all the cargo on and yeah, attempt it in one run, and we still get a goddamn horse chilling with the ANK. It just, yeah, was meant to be. It worked out nicely. And I actually got the footage for this video, was it yesterday or the day before? Again, apologies, I was hoping for a nice quiet week so I could just get my head down and crank some videos out, and it's, yeah, been anything but. I had to ring this place, was it? No, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. To ring them 73 fucking times before they'd answer. That's how ridiculous it was. Waiting for that to go on. Yeah, just one of those crazy weeks. So, again, hopefully it's all calming down a little bit. Get back into a nice pattern. I was flicking through the other day, I've still got... Oh, fuck, I forgot now, I did count them. I think it was like 21 contracts I've still got left to do, and then there's various other missions. I've seen as well, I didn't actually go and buy it. I went on to the PlayStation store and seen the Year 3 pass as well. Which, yeah, I'll probably buy that next month, I reckon. It wasn't while I was looking at the Season 3 pass, I just then started flicking through some of the stuff on the PlayStation store. But it keeps crashing for me on the PlayStation store. When I'm scrolling through it, just suddenly the whole thing freezes up. And then it comes up saying, please wait, and then it like reloads it, which I don't know what that's all about, but it's never done that to me before, and it's done it a couple of times recently. But yeah, I can at least confirm it's definitely in the store. And like I say, I will get it at some point. There still doesn't appear to be any like release dates or anything hinting how long away that'll be. But yeah, I can't imagine it being crazy far away if they've actually got it listed on the PlayStation store. And then as you can see here, like, again, it was a pretty kind of short, uneventful drive for the most part. I mean, I could have purposely gone for a bit of a rally special and rolled it, but yeah, all I'll be doing is bringing another vehicle with a crane. For what it's worth, not that it really makes much difference to be fair, but it's not like a staged contract, this one. It's, you can deliver each set of cargo in any order. Again, I'm sure back in the day the old twin stick would have had just enough oomph to it to kind of give that trailer a bit more of a nudge and get out of the way. But either way, it was a bit of a terrible attempt at cutting around there. Again, this goddamn horse. He's waiting for the inevitable. And then drop these off. And one thing I will say, it's not that it really matters these days. I think I've still got about 80 million on this playthrough, but 23 odd thousand is it, and it getting on for 24,000 for doing this, which I think it's kind of like a little Brucey bonus at the end for after doing all the contracts and like this. But yeah, that's actually pretty good money. Some XP, I don't know, it's a shame again, even if it was just a hollow goal, if they just added more levels or something, so our XP actually made a bit of a difference. But yeah, the main things, it says access to location, and obviously you unlock the garage. But for a second I was like, what the hell is this red square? And then I was like, oh yeah, it must be when you go in the garage, like, and you come out, that's where it'll put you. But yeah, you get this little yellow square here. Like, it's not a full-on proper garage, but it functions the same. You can recover vehicles, so if you've got loads of vehicles out on Harvest Corp, you don't have to keep recovering them to other maps and watch all the loading screens go each time. And then yeah, when you go out the garage, it spawns you here, which this is one of the longest vehicles I think, and it's close to hitting all that junk behind me, but not quite. It'd be nice if there was a trailer store here as well. That'd sort of complete the set if there was just another yellow square on the other side. But apart from that, like I say, it's at least you're able to recover vehicles. My goddamn horse, I've used all his fuel, some of his repairs. I don't know how he broke his suspension. I don't know, he's just enjoying himself as a lowrider. Not really too sure. Rudolph the red-loafed reindeer. Yeah, that's what it looks like on the garage, called corporate garage for some reason. Like most corporations, it's worse than the, if it wasn't. There's probably some guy driving a Lamborghini on a mega yacht right now, saying, well, the budget, we can't quite afford a new tractor. If you just drive this heap of crap in the bottom corner for another 58 years. Meanwhile, they're trying to race Jeff Bezos to space or something. But yeah, anyway, that's that one in the bag. At least I finally got that done. I've still got plenty of other missions to go. Tomorrow I'll be doing another video, and then with the live stream, I'm pretty certain I'll be doing the live stream. It's going to end up being, I suppose, on Christmas morning. I'm about 90% sure. I'm just making sure I'm not going to be away at that point. But other than that, yeah. Yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our Patreon members. Get yourself a loaf because it's a beast, and I'll be back soon.